Whoop, whoop.
There we go. I think we are live. So if anyone can see this in the group, if you could post your comment on there, then I will know for sure that you're live because I don't see it in the event. Ooh. Okay. This is our first time trying this inside an event, so it seems sort of goofy because we're trying to figure out what it is. I got it open in another window, and I'm just waiting to see that it is working just fine, and then we'll get going. Gotta love technology.
I do every day.
Especially when we're in the technology business, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So for me, it is not, I don't see it in the group, but maybe I'm not supposed to see it in there.
Yeah, I only see just the two of us on so far.
And where are you seeing it, Scott?
I see on my phone I have people two, which I think is just you and I for organizer, and then the eyeballs are 0.
Okay. Oh, there's one.
Hey, there's one.
Okay, so when you pop on, because we're not actually in Facebook, we're not in the event, we're actually on another screen. So when you come on, please say who you are and when you're where you're joining us from.
We're in the group.
Hi, Janice. Perfect. Great. I'm glad to see that you're here. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes to get a few people on it, and then we will get right into it. And then anyone who doesn't join us, they can just join they can watch the replay afterwards. Because I do believe that this is going to, it replays, right, Scott?
Yes.
Yeah, because you've done this now with Kevin at least once that I saw.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
And the more we do it, the easier it's going to get.
We'll be like old pros until they come out with new technology, and then we got to learn that all over again, right?
That's right. That's right. The interesting thing is, however, while we're doing this, I'm looking at our pop-up on the screen, and it's way behind what we're doing right now.
Oh, there's a big delay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we're talking, and then they're seeing it, and then they're commenting, or... Okay.
Yeah.
Delay, eh?
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun because I get to see you move here and move over there at the same time.
Oh. I don't think I could take it. It would be too distracting for me. So I think I just saw Tracy came on. So we have another one. Tracy, if you just want to say hi so we can see it. So you're seeing me move my lips first and then, like, how's that?
This is probably like a 10 or 15-second delay.
Okay.
So.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we want to be respectful of everybody's time. I know it took us a couple minutes to get on a little bit later, and there is the Facebook Live that happens on the corporate page. So I'm just going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to introduce Scott. So as you can see on you can't see it, so I'm going to show it. There you go. As you can see, my name is Cheryl Ducker-Savoie. For those of you who don't know me, I am a founder with Serbia. I like to say I joined on day one. There's like the day one it went live public, and then there's different day one. So for me, the day that it went actual public is when I joined Serbia. Really excited about the Go unit and how that's going to help us with our teams, help us help other people in network marketing and in other businesses. And then I'm going to introduce Mr. Scott Whitney. J. Scott Whitney is one of our master reps. He is a multiple 7-figure earner, traditional business owner, and has been an absolute pleasure to work with. He's traveled all over the country to help us. And just as recently as last week, was up here all the way from Lexington, Kentucky. So I just wanted to have Scott on because I know Tracy was looking forward to having some of her guests on today, just to learn a little bit more about the Go unit, how it works, maybe answer any questions. Again, I understand that there's a bit of a delay, maybe about 15 seconds or so. So if you type in a comment, just give me a few seconds for me to see it so that we can get that answered. So Scott, I will hand it over to you and you can just say whatever it is you want to talk about with regards to our cute little Go units.
All right. Thank you so much, Cheryl. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and speak with you all this evening. What I want to do is share with you this wonderful little unit that we call the Acervia Go. So what this device is, it's a little beacon that will broadcast a signal out 100 yards in every direction of the actual beacon. What that message is going to be, it's up to a 40-character text of whatever you want it to say, along with a link that's clickable that's going to direct folks to the website that you want them to go to. So think about your business, whatever it is, whether you're in network marketing, MLM, direct sales, maybe you're a real estate agent, restaurant owner, bar owner, hair salon, nail salon, any brick and mortar establishment, whatever your business is, think about what it would mean to you to have this little beacon putting that, broadcasting that signal out 24/7, 365, 100 yards in every direction. So a 200-yard sphere, so to speak, to where everybody that came into that broadcast zone that had an Android phone received your message. Huge opportunity. How it delivers this message is through technology called NFC, which is near field communication. It utilizes the nearby technology like what Google uses to put out their notifications. And it pops up in your notification tab or your notification area on an Android phone. So it's not going to ping, ding, ring, vibrate, or anything on someone's device. It's not going to light your phone up. It doesn't pop up on the lock screen. It just shows up in the notifications area. So when you swipe down to take a look at your notifications, it's there. Now, I've seen this in action and working, but several different areas. I mean, while I was in Canada, we're popping this thing up on people's phones and they're taking a look at it and saying, wow, how did you do that? This little device is how that worked, how we did that. It's unbelievable. So we've been having a lot of fun, a lot of good times doing this and sharing this out there. And it's showing people realistically how they can market their business without having to physically go up and talk to everybody in proximity of where they are. So I'm not saying we need to stop doing those things, but how many of you have tried to advertise your business and you don't know how to expand your list, you don't know how to advertise it in other areas, unless you're going to do things like expensive billboard advertising, or I don't even know if anyone does Yellow Page anymore. It seems to be obsolete. But, mailers like postcards or TV ads or radio commercials, right? Those are all things that are very expensive to do. So what we've come up with is a way that you can market to folks that come within your broadcast zone for a very inexpensive cost. These devices they have a battery that it lasts up to 2 years. So you have a very, very cost-effective, long-term, viable opportunity to share and to be able to market whatever it is you want to market. So we'll talk a little bit about the cost. So when we look at this device, it's like, we're all looking at what's the best cost-effective way to advertise our business, how much is it going to cost, what's the ongoing, so on and so forth. So with these devices, if you compare it to anything else out there, you're paying nothing for them. We're talking about one unit right now. We have introductory pricing, which is 50% off. One unit is $25 a month. 3 units is $49 a month, and 8 units is $99 a month. I know some people will say, well, what do I need more than 1 unit for? Well, it really depends on what you're marketing and where you're going to be. If you're a brick and mortar business owner, for example, let's say you have a restaurant. You have one of the devices in your restaurant. You might have your significant other carry a device around. You may also give it a device or two to your management team and have them carry them with them as they leave. So you're marketing your business in many different areas 24/7, 365. But that's entirely up to you. I know for myself, I have 8 units. Why? Because I'm going to be having them placed in various locations. I have friends that are going to take some of these to their places of employment so that they can have, it markets there for me consistently. My daughter goes to college this fall, and she's going to take a couple to college with her. And this is the first time I'm going to have one of my kids take something that I don't care if they lose it. So, it's kind of fun that way, right? So we've got just a bunch of different opportunities that you can do with these. And the reason why I say it's inexpensive, because I used to have my own brick and mortar businesses. I had a lawn and landscape business and a janitorial service. I know how much it costs to advertise. If I would have had something like this available to where I could advertise seriously for, I'm just going to say just for 3 units, minimum for me, $50 a month. Come on, that's nothing. I was paying between $2,500 and $3,000 a month for all the advertising I was doing. If I would have thrown $50 a month at 3 devices and put them in the right place, or just left them in my trucks, it would have generated more business for me than any of that other advertising did. Because the return on those investments are minimal. But this one, I can tell you from personal experience, and Cheryl, I think you were part of that conversation when I was up in Canada, that one of my devices, as I was walking around and driving around, I signed 3 people up in my business while I was in Canada that I have no idea who they are.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
No idea. Yeah, no idea. Vincent knows. I told him.
No, that's fantastic, and that's what we want to hear, right? That it's getting people to sign up for, whether it's our business or their own business, whoever is using it.
That's right. So for me, I've seen this thing in action. I know it works. I have people in my business right now because of this device. And I'm excited for people to get these things in their hands. They started shipping this week. We should have some folks getting them this week coming up. And it's just, looking at what is available, it's exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, for me, the reason why this is so important and close is this is going to be great for the mom and pop businesses out there. This is going to be great for the average network marketer out there that needs a little bit of help. But I think about the mom and pop, the brick and mortars. There's 150 million businesses across North America, and every single one of them should have one of these devices. Why? Because they need to compete and be able to be a little more competitive advantage when it comes to going up against the big boys, the big box retailers and the larger businesses. This device it gives the potential to level that playing field just a little bit more. So I'm more excited about getting this into the brick and mortar mom and pop shops than I am almost anything else. Yeah, it's great for network marketing. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea and the concept of it, because I know several people in my organizations over the last 9 years have been, I don't know anybody else. I've ran through my list. How do you get more contacts? How do you do this? I don't want to buy leads, and so on and so forth. Well, now you don't have to. Now you have an opportunity to have leads coming to you that have essentially raised their hand and said, hey, I want more information. Please call me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because by the time you get that to you, that's what you have. So it helps people process through things a lot easier.
And just to interrupt you very quickly, I just am monitoring the group, and I don't know if there's been a little bit of difficulty trying to find the actual link. Again, I'm just to let everybody know, I see that there's 10 of you on. So this is the first time that we're actually using it, giving it a test drive. So after we've done the podcast, I'll go back into the group and check it out. And moving forward, hopefully these will become a little bit more smooth and I know there's a bit of a delay. So I know there's a young lady named Tammy who is trying to find the link and can't see it. So Tracy, if it's possible, maybe you can just post in there in regards to her comment, that we'll check in with her afterwards if she doesn't find it. Scott, when it comes to doing a custom message, can you give a few ideas as to how, what kind of messages that people could use, whether they're a traditional store owner, a salon, like a real estate agent, that kind of thing?
So like real estate agents are the ones that fire me up an awful lot, because, I when I have conversations with them, I'm simply like, what if you could put one of these devices in every one of your listings, that when somebody came within 100 yards of that home, it pops up as a notification that says, is this your dream home? Take tour here. And it takes them to your website, takes them to that tour of that house. Now you have that person's information, and you know who you're going to reach back out to and say, hey, I noticed you took a virtual tour of, house X. Are there any questions I can answer for you? Would you like to see the home in person? There's a ton of different opportunities. I have one real estate agent. I mean, you heard Don the Plume talking about taking the device and nailing it to a tree in a neighborhood that has homes for sale. There's a lot of opportunities with that. I don't know that I would do that, but then like one of the Servia ones that I have out there, I simply put a message on it that said, "Make money sharing this link. Click here."
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at just depends, like a hair salon. Monday and Tuesday, $5 off cut and color or whatever.
Right.
Daily special. Click here. Restaurants could be a buy one get one free. Click here, and all you're doing is getting people to click to your link, take you to their website. Now you're getting their information, whether it's a Facebook page they can like and follow, or it's a coupon they can download and use. But it's actually it's something that's helping people take action, and it's driving them to your establishment.
Right. I know for us. Oh, there I see us now that we're actually live. So perfect. I'm watching it. See it. All right. I know for us as a DJ service, one of the things that my husband was super excited about was being able to broadcast an invitation to all the guests at a wedding to say, request your songs through the client's actual link for their request. I mean, we already do take requests through, different ways at a wedding, but even when it comes time to Christmas time, there's a lot of people out there who have Christmas parties. And we did advertising on the radio, and I believe it cost us almost $700 just for a week worth of radio advertisement. It was just insane. And if people don't listen to that radio, they don't catch your ad on exactly the same time, that's where it gets really, really frustrating. So, I mean, we can go to a hockey game, baseball game, go to the mall and just walk around and say, looking for a DJ for your Christmas party, click here, or check availability here, or something like that, to let people know whether or not about our services. If anyone has any questions, if you can comment in the posts, in the live comments, that would be great, and then we can try and get those answered. Let me look and see what I can. So Greg is asking that he doesn't want to be pushing this on people to promote, but how much will this cost? So Greg, we did talk about the cost very briefly about halfway through. One unit is $25 a month, 3 units is $49 a month, and then if you needed 8 units, it's $99 a month. And that is the introductory price that we have right now, which is 50% off, and that goes until the end of June.
Correct.
Someone was asking about how it's different from geocaching. Did you want to speak to that, Scott?
Geocaching involves an app on the phone, right? So if you don't have the app on the phone, then it's difficult to follow that.
And because this is not an app, we don't have to download anything, then we aren't geocaching. We're not pulling any information from the phone. That
right.
Don't need any of that.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I'm just trying to think some of the common questions that we get. So the biggest one, because we are here in Canada, and so a lot of people watching it are from Canada, and you know what I'm going to ask you. And I get it all the time, is this a conflict for the anti-spam laws?
No, it's not. So it complies with all of the Canadian rules and regulations. The device is actually manufactured in Canada, in Toronto. So it's 100% compliant with all Canadian laws and all U.S. laws. It meets all the guidelines by the FCC for communications and all that stuff. And the reason why it doesn't fall into the anti-spam category is because it's not an SMS text and it's not an email. It's not something that is forced onto somebody's phone in such a way where it stays. It just pops up as a notification, just like an Amber Alert would pop up on your phone. And then once you leave that broadcast zone, it's gone. It disappears.
So when you say pop up, is it something that shows up on my lock screen, or?
No. No. So how it does on the Android devices, what it does is it shows up in the notifications section. So when you swipe down on your phone to see your notifications, that's where you'll see it. But it doesn't pop up on the phone. It doesn't not on the lock screen. Doesn't ding, ping, vibrate, or anything to your phone at all.
Okay. So Tracy is asking if you can share the different reasons why you would choose 1, 3, or 8.
Yeah, so I mean, if somebody just wants to be able to do minimal marketing with one device for one company, then you can certainly do that. Somebody that has, maybe you have a couple businesses, or maybe you have a business and you have your Facebook and you have an event. So 3 is my sweet spot for most people, and the reason why is I use one. I'm teaching people to take one device and have it linked to your Facebook profile. If you have Instagram, you can do a second device for Instagram, and then have the third device for your actual business replicated site. And the reason for that is this: is that you not only do you want to promote your replicated site, if you're in network marketing, or if you're even a brick and mortar, you want people driven there to see what you are and who you are. But you also want to get them connected to you via any of your social media channels. So when they like your page, now they're following you all the time and not just popping in on your broadcast.
So when you say page, like just on, I'm asking personally, it didn't come up in the comments, but are you directing them to your personal Facebook profile, or are you creating an actual Facebook business page for it?
Well, I have a business page. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just have their personal page, which is fine too. A lot of people have a lot of their business stuff is on Instagram, so you drive it there instead. It just depends on where, what you have and where you want to send people.
We had a meeting on, I don't know if you had heard about this, Thursday night we had a meeting with Don LaPlume, who's the president of the company, for those of you tuning in who don't know. And he mentioned to me that, I'm not sure how it works in Canada, but I know in the States, apparently, when people get out of jail or for bail bondsmen used to hang around outside the jail, and now they can't do that. So they're like literally nailing it to a post close to the jail so it pops up so that people getting out can get bail bondsmen without actually being there, which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
That is great.
Christine is watching us now, and she was just commenting that it was a great meeting. We had a really good time that night and learned a lot. So yeah, it was a great meeting, Tracy. Trying to think of anything else. Scott, what are some of the common objections that you come up with that we should cover very briefly in the last 4 minutes that we have?
Last 4 minutes that we have. Okay. Goodness, I don't even know. I mean, what should I cover?
Well, we talked about spam, the reasons why we would go with 1, 3, or 8. We talked about cost-wise. We talked about the anti-spam not being annoying. Those are pretty much the common objections that we get for the most part.
Those are pretty much the ones, yeah. And I think what people really enjoy, like Tracy just brought this up, is that they like the fact that it doesn't alert people, but it's in the notifications when you look. And that really, I mean, because the last thing we want to do is do something that's going to bother people or annoy them in any way, shape, or form, right? We're all very busy. We all have a lot of notifications on things coming through. My phone dings and pings and vibrates all the time. I shut everything off that I can. But I still want the notifications. I still want to be able to go and look at them and see them. So when I go in my phone and I look at things, I'm like, all right, cool. There's that, and that. All right, what's this? Click. Oh, that's good. I like it.
Something that actually was mentioned to me the other day. So what would happen if you have several people in a geographic location who have different Go units and they are broadcasting their message? Do you think that would be something that would be annoying to people? I personally don't, because when I pull my drop down for my notification screen, I just quickly scroll through it. So if I see something that's not interesting to me, I just get rid of it. I think it'll mean we'll have to be a bit creative with our 40-character message, that it will catch people's attention. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there will come a time where that does play into it. I don't think it's going to be for another probably 2 or 3 years. At least, and the reason why I say that is because, I mean, unless you're going to go into a club or into a networking event, if you're part of a group, and get every single person in that group to buy a Go unit, and then that group goes to places together all the time, then it's not going to happen. I mean, there's too many people on this planet, 7 billion people. You know, unless you plan on selling all 7 billion of them, it's going to take a while.
Right.
I know Cheryl's going to try to sell to them all. But.
Well, not me personally, but I know my group's working really, really hard, which is awesome. They're a great group of people. Joelle is asking what support is provided for non-techie people. So can you explain just briefly with regards to the Go unit how they would address her question about support, but then also about changing the message?
So changing the message is real easy. You just log into your back office, and you're going to have a screen. Your device on the back side has a serial number, or it's a small, short number. So you find that device in the list if you have more than one. If you only have one unit, it's simple. That's the only thing that pops up and shows. You have a little text box that you'll put your 40-character text message in, and then a link. And then what it has, so you have the serial numbers here, the text box is here, and underneath that serial number is another line or box for you to put in your website link. Once you put those two things in, you click save, you're done. What takes the longest, honestly, is logging into the back office based on your computer speed and coming up with the 40-character text that you want to put in there. That's what takes the longest. Everything else is simple. I mean, you can do this in less than a minute if you know what you want to say.
Do we have any fears with like messages going out that may not be appropriate?
No, because we have allow up to 24 hours for your changes to take effect, because they have to be reviewed first to make sure there's nothing that's going to be any violent or illicit material or anything derogatory in any way, shape, or form. So everything is looked at for compliance before it's allowed to go out.
So there's no worries about like a notice going out on, my kid's phone who's 12 years old and he's going to be taken to a site that he shouldn't see at 12 years old that I don't know how to explain.
No.
Perfect. Yes, Janice, we just mentioned that about how and welcome to a live broadcast. Someone ran
yes.
And there's my psychotic dog. I can't keep quiet. Casey, come here. No, my apologies, everybody. My husband's going to go answer the door. This is the little monster. Look over here, you. See, this is him. He's like, I don't care. If you can't see it, I'm going like 100 shades of red right now. Casey, quiet. So he just made his Facebook debut.
Nice.
Sorry.
I love it.
Now I'm totally like distracted and flustered. That's lovely.
That's all right.
Any other questions that you can think of that we should address?
There's not anything else that I can think of we need to address. I mean, that covers pretty much everything. How does it go on the phone? How does it work? How can we change the message? Who's it good for? Some simple messaging for that. So on and so forth. So I think we're good.
Well, I'm going to thank you very much, Scott, for taking some time out of your hectic schedule. I know that it is the Memorial Weekend. It's the Memorial Weekend for you guys. And one of my awesome team leaders who's just sneaking through and leaving. So I appreciate you taking time out of your Memorial Day weekend to come on and explain this. And to all of our guests, if you have any questions, just keep commenting below and we will answer them. Tammy is just quickly asking what kind of success stories have we heard so far? Do you know of any that you want to share with real briefly, Scott? And then I'll let you go.
Well, the one I shared about myself earlier where I've signed up, it's now 6 people from my device. Because honestly, not many of us have the devices yet. So we've just been, I had them in my possession for about 2 weeks at this point. So, that's, for me, like I'm one of these people, I can see the vision, I can promote the vision, but I also like to see it, show me the proof kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So I'll take that leap of faith based on what I have for information and what I do for my research, but then I want to see it.
Right.
So I've seen it. Now you're not going to be able to stop me. or shut me up about it.
I agree with you there, very much so. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to end the broadcast, and if anyone is catching this on the replay, we'll be monitoring the chat underneath it.
Yes.
So ask any questions that haven't been answered, and myself or Tracy or any of the other team leaders watching it will definitely answer them. And as always, whoever invited you to this broadcast, please reach out back to the person who invited you so that they can also answer your questions and help you get one of these units in your hands.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.